Coronation Street spoilers, Sean Wilson reveals all as he returns to Martin Platt role. Ever since it was revealed that Martin Platt would be returning to Coronation Street after 12 years away, fans have been excited to see Sean Wilson back on their screens. And Metro.co.uk recently headed to the Coronation set to catch up with the actor and cheese aficionado, who was clearly overjoyed to be stepping into his alter ego's shoes again. Speaking about what lies ahead for Martin and his son David, Sean explained, "David is in one of the biggest predicaments of his life. And he has been in a few. Not only has this attack happened to him, but then there's the aftermath and psychological effects. The more time goes by and he don't tell anyone, the worse it gets. But of course he has to unburden himself at some point. That's where Martin comes in. Martin definitely knows there's something wrong with David. It's obvious. It could be girlfriend trouble or anything. That's the opening for Martin coming back. It is clear to him that there are many dimensions to this, and so he gets very worried. Once or twice David gets really close to telling Martin, but he don't. Revealing what happens when Martin arrives on the street to check up on David after his concerning visit, Sean continued, "He is outside the Platts, and there are shots that show how he is feeling about being back after all those years. He is looking at the house and thinking, oh geez. He is reliving a few things. I like to pride myself on being very well prepared for these things, but it did feel a bit weird being in the Platts' living room. I hadn't even expecting that. The script was good, but Jack was doing it in a little bit of an awkward way, because that's where he was. I had a chat with the director later and she was like, Sean, it was perfect because it was bound to be awkward. She said it felt like the audience would be living it with me." His contact with Martin leads David to make the decision to take the kids and move to New Zealand with his dad, but Shona Ramsey and the rest of the family talk him out of this rash move. The scenes are destined to be emotive, and Sean reckons that they could lay the groundwork for Martin to make further appearances down the line, something which he would embrace. He enthused, "I had lots of thinking time, and my character has so many connections that if you were to put all the characters within the show and Martin in the middle, with a line diagram, how many connections would he have? They're all good connections in my opinion. There is so much depth there that I would have thought editorially it would have to be thought about that he came back again, but whether they act upon it is completely up to the powers that be. I'd definitely be up for it." This response is a far cry from how Sean felt when he initially quit the role. Back then, relations soured after Sean refused to take on a proposed storyline that would have seen his popular character start a relationship with an underage girl. Sean was very firm in his decision, and so left the role under a bit of a cloud, with it seeming like we would not see Martin again. But as the actor told us, a lot has changed as years have passed. He said, "Lots of things have changed. There was a juxtapose of editorial thoughts at the time, and I morally felt that I had to stand very, very firm on the decision that I made, and I think we all know what went on there. So there came a parting of ways. Things move on, especially in show business, and the people that were in charge have moved on. They've all split and gone elsewhere, so this has come around, and you know what? Before I stepped into the building, I thought the scripts were ace, which I was pleasantly surprised with it because Martin has not been there for 12 years. There's a real positivity about the place, and there's been a real warmth from me. I walked onto the set on my first day with Jack in the salon, and it was as if I've been in a coma for 12 years. It was creatively warm between Jack and myself. Perfect. I couldn't have asked for a better way to come back, so I am really pleased. I questioned myself before I walked into the building, but I've been really pleased with the way it's all turned around." And one thing that Sean enjoyed was being reunited with lots of old faces, all of whom were just as pleased to see him again. And naturally, Jack P. Shepherd, who plays David, has changed a lot over the years. Sean smiled. "It was weird, but Jack is still Jack and Sean is still Sean, and we didn't take long to fall back in. And between scenes we've been catching up with each other, family-wise, what you re up to and what you re into, and we've been talking about food. He says he can cook and he wants to surprise the people he is living with at the moment, so I gave him a recipe for chicken which I have promised would blow their minds. He is going to try it,